Comedy for Christmas on BBC1.
It's rather low cut. I mean, if you lean forward over pudding, people will be able to see your hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, my word, we've put on a bit of weight, haven't we, Carol? Too much time sitting around playing the piano, I'd say.
Do you watch Neighbours, Hyacinth?
No, only when they're in danger of letting the area down.
It's a piano!
He's sharp, it's this one.
OK, ma'am, here we are.
It's very realistic, isn't it?
For the biggest stars, the biggest laughs, and the very best in comedy. Christmas on BBC1.
That was the dentist.
What have you done?
I haven't done anything.
You're not to worry about the Wimbledon poisoner. Inspector Rush is on to him.
The carnival may soon be over.
All I need is evidence.
The Wimbledon Poisoner, Sunday at 9:15 on BBC1.
Henry?
You think I'm old? Yes, you do. You look at me and all you see is old. You probably think I spend all day sitting in a chair or queuing for my pension, because that's what you think old people are, remembering the good old days or the best years of our lives. Well, you know what? These are the best years of my life. I party, I laugh, I walk, I work, and I dance. In fact, I've got a great life. So, open your mind. Tonight, 9:30, it's never too late.
Walter Matthau stars in BBC2's film premiere now as the small-town attorney Harmon Cobb. This is BBC1. Time now for the 9 o'clock news with Martin Lewis.
Russian troops and warplanes tighten the noose around the capital of the rebel Chechen Republic. As fighting intensifies, a warning from Moscow that they'll use as much force as necessary. The government dismisses as scaremongering a report that claims privatisation will close down half the rail network. And in Northern Ireland, the Prime Minister is telling international businessmen, with your help, this season of peace can mark the beginning of a peace for all seasons. Good evening. The Russian invasion of the rebel Republic of Chechnya and Moscow's threat to use whatever force is necessary is causing increasing concern in many other former Soviet republics. They're calling it an undeclared war, ill-conceived, pitting an elephant against a small puppy, and say both sides have shown insufficient will for a political settlement. Lithuania said the conflict could even threaten Russia's political stability. Russian troops, backed by helicopter gunships, are advancing on Grozny from the north, northwest and west, but they're still reported to be held up in Dagestan to the east. There have been fierce battles just outside the capital, with at least 9 Russians killed. Villages as close as 10 miles away have been bombarded with rockets and shells, and there are reports that Russian tanks have now reached the outskirts of the city.
Peace talks look irrelevant now. The Russian army is marching on Grozny with no holds barred. From at least 3 directions today, columns of tanks and men pressed forward to the constant thump of artillery and whir of helicopters. Where the road is blocked, they take to the fields, though both roads and fields have been mined in places. Chechen barricades are just scooped out of the way. In Pervomayskaya, just 15 kilometers from the outskirts of Grozny, Chechens tried to fight off a major assault by Russian attack helicopters which were bombarding the village with rockets. In Grozny, there's a new sense of panic as the realization dawns that this is for real, and volunteers head out to the front lines. From the west, a convoy which had been held up for 2 days in neighbouring Ingushetia has now broken through into Chechnya and is rolling through village after village. Everywhere, villagers stood in their way. And undeterred by incoming fire, came back for more. At Achkhoy Martan, 35 kilometres from Grozny, we found this crowd of men blocking the road. The tanks were stopped in their tracks as 2 villagers tried to negotiate a complete halt. As the rear of the column snaked through fields behind, some men prayed for deliverance from the Russian invaders. This is effectively the front line on this invasion route. A couple of hundred Chechens, armed only with light weapons and prayers, blocking the road just 200 yards from the approaching tank column. Their prayers were answered. The general in charge of the convoy was forced into humiliating talks with the crowd and an even more humiliating climb down.
Our orders are not to go into Grozny, but to blockade it, to stop weapons getting in. But how can we go on? Don't you see the people here? How can we just attack ordinary people?
He announced he'd decided to halt his advance, at least for today, giving in to Chechen power. Perhaps he knew that just behind the peace demonstrators were Chechens of a different ilk. They may look like a ragtag army, but the fighters in white are death warriors who've vowed to die rather than retreat. These men have no reason to believe Russian claims that they don't intend to storm Grozny. Angus Roxburgh, BBC News, Chechnya.
And Angus Roxburgh joins me now from Grozny. Angus, is there any sign that the Russian troops are intending to enter the capital?
Well,